All right, hello and welcome to another round of the Discord League Top 8. Today we have Hatamoto Joe in Crab playing against Eigensheep, who's playing Crane. Today with me is Aggro Craig, and I am, of course, Void Circuit.
Hey guys, how's it going? Players are just taking care of mulligans right now. We've got Eigensheep going first as Crane. What are you expecting to see in this matchup, Void?
So neither is really going to go hard dishonor this game, and I think honoring out's not going to be a huge threat. I know Joe likes to bid kind of three and not really draw a lot of cards, so maybe we might have some dishonor pressure early game, but I think it's going to come down to province breaking.
So what's interesting here to me is Eigensheep is playing the more control Crane archetype with the Scorpion Splash, and that opens him up to being able to be dishonored a little easier, since his Scorpion cards will be offsetting the honor gain from the Crane cards in a lot of situations.
Okay, I definitely agree, but it's going to be hard to crack the Crab defensive strategy, especially with things like Display of Power. You can really do some crazy turnarounds here when you think you've got something won. But it'll definitely be a good game, and we can see here Eigensheep is going for a turn one Kazin with two Fate. He's probably going to also throw down a Sepun or that I see an Asahina Artisan because we've got to be worried about Way of the Crab.
Yeah, he definitely needs something out there that he can throw away in the event that Joe does play Way of the Crab. And it's important to note something we'll have to keep an eye on here is the Way of the Crab can be played in any action window, as any event can be. But that becomes extremely tricky when you're playing against Crab because you have to be hyper aware of the order in which you are bringing things onto the board and what's going to be left of the board at the end of the round on your end versus what Crab will have left.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they have like a Chud left and your board is clearing except for your big guy is extremely vulnerable.
Exactly. So that might have been one reason why he put a single Fate on this Asahina Artisan, is so at the end of the Fate phase, after they lose one Fate, they would be left on the table, and Way of the Crab could come down right then and take out Kazin if they had left. So right here, Joe's going with an Intimidating Hida with two Fate on him. Seems like a reasonable play. And of course, a Kaiju Envy with nothing on them, because when they leave, they give yourself a card and a Fate. Both players going for relatively low bids as compared to the last round, top 16. We saw a lot of people going for 5-card draws.
I think that's a product of the fact that I think half the cranes we saw were Tempo Crane, and then also we had two dragons. And Tempo Crane and Dragon are they really like to bid five. They really like to see their cards and get rolling because both of those decks, those archetypes, can steamroll you if they get enough gas going early. Whereas here, I think Control likes to draw mid to low, and Crab usually likes to draw pretty low.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and get a lot of their draws from, as you can see, he just used the Imperial Storehouse to draw a card, and he's going to get another one from the Kaiju Envy once he leaves play. Fortunately, though, he does have a favorable ground, which will allow him to do some shenanigans on the counterattack. Try to force in one of Eigensheep's characters into defending and then pull him back, or perhaps commit early and then pull back after we see a bonsai or something like that come down from Eigensheep. But
Yes.
interestingly enough, he goes with the Asahina Artisan. What do you think he's going for here?
I think he's just trying to poke, see what he can find, make sure he's declaring a conflict so he doesn't lose to intimidating Hida, lose an honor. And then I also think that if you push with both here, I mean, if you pass your conflict, you lose an honor. If you push with both, your board is still extremely vulnerable to the assassinate Way of the Way of the Crab play.
Mm-hmm.
So unless you can get honor here, it's going to become extremely difficult
Yeah,
to stop that.
yeah. And I think he's also worried about running Kazin into a turn one Shameful Display. Being Dishonored's really going to hurt him since he does have two Glory. And that's not how you want to start off a match. Okay. Joe puts in a Caillou Envoy, so right now we've got a whole 0 to 1 attack here. And yeah, this isn't meant to break. Maybe win. Maybe we might see a Bonsai, but I think this is just, again, as you said, a probing attack. Seeing what's out there.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good hit there, to hit that rally right there on an attack that doesn't really matter. Flipping that did allow Joe to actually have a power in there without using his stronghold.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was a fairly good thing to hit with that attack.
Absolutely. Rally to the cause can be very impactful, but if it kind of goes off like a dud, like it just did right now, it can be a little bit of a liability because the opponent can keep going to rally to the cause, not to necessarily break it, but with just enough that you have to defend. And if you over defend, great, that's great for them. If you under defend, they still get the ring, and rally to the cause is still there, which can be continually hit. All right, Joe swings out with the Intimidating Hita, runs face first into Art of Peace. This could go undefended, but I think it makes sense to put in Kazin here. And if things go south, try for the duel to send yourself home.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you need to do here if you're Eigensheep. Because it's going to be difficult to win this, so you will probably end up dueling to send yourself home. But if you can force him to play cards to get this break, but then also staying in there and eating the break isn't the worst thing that can happen. Since Joe is taking this fire ring, it's going to be difficult for the Crane to turn Voice of Honor back on unless they can pull the honor off of this. That'll help significantly. So I think there's value in doing it either way here.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. Yeah, and I think the problem here is Joe does still have that favorable ground, and Kazin does need someone else there to be in the fight. So Joe could attack here, Kazin could come in, and then duel himself home, but without that, Joe could just leave right now. But we do see a Fiery Madness come down onto the Intimidating Hita, trying to stop the break. It doesn't look like you will be able to stop the fire ring from going off, though. Though I could see a situation where he uses favorable ground to bring him back and later defend Kazin's attack.
No, I think you have to resolve the fire ring here if you're Crab, because you get honored. Crane has already declared a political conflict, and you're not going to be swinging back with a political conflict. So Court Games is off the table for the rest of the turn. I just think you're in a way better position. You're going first next turn, so you could probably declare a military conflict to open that up, just to keep Court Games off the table, which makes it extremely difficult for Crane to play any of their cancels.
Very true. Yeah, they don't have a courtier right now, so Forged Edict is not in play, and it does look like Eigensheep runs only 2 of them, but that's a fair thing. He does run 3 Fiery Madness. Okay, yeah. Joe plays his Katana. No response from Eigensheep, and the province is broken, and we see both the Intimidating Hita and Kazin becoming dishonored. Interesting, but he does play away with the Crane. Yeah, that's a tough call. It's definitely needed here, so you can try to maybe break a province of your own, but the danger is now you don't have more honored characters, so Voice of Honor is not quite active. So what ring do you think you'd go for here, Craig?
It's difficult to say. I think you could go Water or Void. Makes sense here. Water would allow you to stand your Asahina Artisan and be able to claim the Imperial favor at the end. Void puts that Intimidating Hita 1 step closer to getting off the board, but that has kind of some diminishing return with the fact that Crab has so many ways to keep him on the board, even once he gets all the fate removed from him.
Yeah, very true. You have your Vanguard Warrior, which is a 2/1 character for 2 that lets you sacrifice them to add a fate. There's Reprieves, and I don't think he's running Good Omen, but I think those are the 6 cards, essentially, that work. Unless I'm missing one. I think that's it.
No, yeah. But I think that the fact that Crab can keep him around kind of diminishes the Return of the Void Ring, but also at the same time, you have to make him play those cards and prove that he has them.
Yeah. And compared to the Water Ring, it's not going to do much. Maybe it'll give you the Imperial Favor, not too huge of an impact. Air Rings, marginal. Again, we said earlier, we probably don't think this is going to dishonor, but hey, I mean, having a little more honor means you can draw more cards. But here we go. He goes with Void, and I think... Card draws, discard for Earth.
Yeah, they never resolved the Earth Ring.
Wasn't he won it on defense?
Oh.
Yeah, the Caillou Envoy won it on defense against the Asina Artisan. All right, yep, here we go. Kazin comes in. I think we'll see... I don't know, do you use Favorable Ground here?
I don't think you pop it here. You have to... There could be a Gunso from hand. I don't think you really care about the honor loss as Crab.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, you're right. It's 9-11 right now. Going 9-10 is not too bad. But the question is there a better use for that Favorable Ground next turn? And Joe decides no. The thought process here, I suppose, is do you want to see 4 fresh new cards? Or do you want to just keep that around for next turn, maybe use it effectively on a Heated Guardian, which I think he runs one of, or a, what is it? Shrewd Yasuki, which is also a very good draw, a card draw.
Yeah, but I think you have enough in there to turn it on. That's not a huge consideration. So I think the consideration there is just, do you want to see a card in that slot?
Mm-hmm. And
Joe's answer was, yes, I do.
Yeah. What are you looking for here as Crab, you think? Witch Hunter would not be awful. A Casada is always good turn 2, especially if you 2 banked up.
Yeah, I think you're looking for something big. I think you need to just start bullying Crane.
Absolutely. Okay. The ring goes off. Eigensheep will take Fate off of the Intimidating Hida, and Rally to the Cause will break. And I think that's going to be the end of this round, unless we see a pocket ambusher or something like that. But it doesn't make sense with the Crane Province still up. Players elect to pass. He's going to draw a card and gain an extra Fate from the Envoy going away.
Yeah, it looks like... Did we discard the card on the break? Or did we leave it?
He chose to keep the face down card.
Okay.
You have the option to. If
right.
It's face up, it has to go away anyway, so might as well do it then. But if it's face down, you have the option. And Joe goes, interestingly enough, with the political favor. I think that's a fair choice. Both would be good here. But right now, he is a little weak on... Yeah, he's got 0 political skill showing right now, so definitely going to be helpful.
Yeah, I think if you can just add the one that stops the break or something in political, then it's going to be worthwhile. I know when I'm playing Lion, which is also heavy military, I usually set it on political versus Crane.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got a pretty interesting flop here. Up top with Joe, we've got a Steadfast Witch Hunter, which is coming out right now. They have the ability to sacrifice a friendly character and choose and ready a character, which is very good, especially with another card that just came out, the Keeper Initiate. So if he wins the ring that matches his role, which is currently the Keeper of Air, he can gain a free Keeper Initiate that can then be sacrificed later to the Steadfast Witch Hunter. So we'll see if that ring becomes relevant. We also see a Haruma Yojimbo and a Vanguard Warrior, which I expect will be coming out to try and keep this Intimidating Hida on life support for one more turn. And there we go. Down here we saw Doji Narishma. And right now, Eigensheep can tell he's got a lot more cards to play in comparison to Joe, so he's going to use his ability to try and get better options. And we see a Savvy Politician down, and that's definitely going to come down because it's going to help him turn on Voice of Honor because it has the ability to, after this character is honored, choose a character, honor that character. So it's basically 2 for 1 on Way the Crane. We already did see 1 go down, but maybe Firing will be particularly relevant here, or if he runs into Shameful Display.
I'm trying to figure out. Am I missing something? So Joe ended the turn with 2 fate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he played Steadfast Witch Hunter and put 2 fate on her for 6.
Yep.
7, 8 for the Vanguard Warrior. So he would have started with 9, because 7 plus 2. Spent 8, and then gained 1 for passing. I think he's up an extra fate.
He had a 3rd fate from the Caillou Envoy leaving last turn.
Oh,
which
okay,
brought
that's
him to
where it
3
is. Yep.
fate. Yeah.
All right, I knew I was missing something.
There's a really interesting thing that happened here was he chose he was definitely going second here, right? In passing, he chose not to bring the second Daidoji Nirishima out to add a fate onto his other one. What do you think the logic behind that is?
I have no clue why, because it's going away at the end of this turn. Because on a broken province.
Yeah, so just like he's leaving free fate off the table here, but hey, maybe he has plans that we don't know yet. Maybe a charge or something like that.
He does not run charge. That's the first thing I checked in the deck.
Yeah. Maybe minor misplay. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. Yep, and as we can see here, definitely going to go for a military error. Probably onto the Doji Hotaru. Get that off the table. You don't want to see that next turn. And the hope here is to, again, get some honor for your trouble, bring out this Keeper Initiate, and later sacrifice it to ready whatever character goes into this conflict. But it is 4 characters to 3, so you gotta wonder how much you really want to commit to this fight. It's kind of like 4 because you can ready someone with the Steadfast Witch Hunter.
Yeah, it's going to become interesting here because he has a pretty decent shot at hitting a rally here. 33%. And that's going to be pretty ugly no matter what he brings in.
Or a shameful, but he gets lucky. He hits the Manicured Garden, which, of course, as an action, will give the defending player a fate to do with as they will. So yeah, we've got 6 coming in here. It's a military air attack. Yeah, some tough questions here. If you want to bring Kaizen in, potentially... Yeah, that's a... illegal deck province here. Because, of course, that would be a second air province.
Yeah.
He should have a Rally to the Cause, a Shameful Display, a Meditations, and a Entrenched Position. Entrenched Position almost certainly should go to the Stronghold, so it really should only be Meditations, Shameful, or Rally. Do we even have the right deck? Do we need to do a deck check?
Let me see here. See if there's anything I've seen.
I mean, we've only seen Way the Crane come out from the conflict deck, so nothing too insightful there.
Yeah, every card he has played so far is run in his deck.
Yeah, so it looks like both players are being honorable about this. It should be a Rally to the Cause. We can confirm this at a later point. That's definitely not what you want to see. Asahina Artisan's going to come in. We suspect that Eigensheep has a court games in hand. Probably unlikely that he's going to break. We'll see if he can hold on, though, and go for the win and get a Keeper Initiate out here.
Yeah, I think you're going to see... Yeah, he's going to see the Savvy Politician. It's going to get court gamed, so he can honor 2 things, which turns his Voice of Honor on. You're going to see probably the Steadfast Witch Hunter bow.
Yeah.
From the Crane Stronghold.
Yep, there's the court games to honor the Savvy Politician. I think the bonus honor is going to go down to Kikita Kaizen.
Yeah, I think you have to put it on Kaizen here.
Something's... What's happening here? Okay.
Looks like he's gonna bow first.
That's an interesting choice. He's got to be worried about an assassination dropping right now.
Yeah, because if he pumps the steadfast witch hunter, then it's just a one difference if he bows the vanguard warrior. I guess vanguard warrior can get assassinated.
Yeah, hold on. Give me 1 second to look at this deck list. I don't think it came up though.
I'm gonna. Are you watching it? I can pull it up.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do it, and I'll try and just keep going. All right. So thank you for that, Craig. Yeah. So we see the court games come down onto the savvy politician. Reaction's gonna happen. Send that bonus honor over to Kazan, who is now going to be a scary 7/4 threat. We've got currently 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. A court games drops, and it's going to dishonor the savvy politician. We could see a Forged Edict here or a Voice of Honor, but Eigensheep lets it through. Though I guess, yep, so that's a win for Air. I suppose Joe will take an honor, and he gets a free keeper initiate that soon will be sacrificed to ready that steadfast witch hunter.
So it looks like watching the VOD. It looks like neither rally nor manicured were ever flipped.
I'll go ahead and inform them. Okay. So what are the rules for having an illegal deck here? I think it's a potential disqualification, but I think it's up to Joe if he wants to just take the win or go for it normally here.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. Because in the last game, we can't say whether or not he was running a legal deck in the last game.
All right, I'll just message Joe and say it's we'll just leave it as it is. We'll let them figure out what they want to do.
Let's play it out. We'll see a good game, and we could figure this out on the back end.
Yep. Okay. So we see a air ring water coming down political. What's Joe doing? Did he forget to use a steadfast witch hunter?
I wonder if he had pre-conflict actions that didn't get passed properly.
Yeah. Maybe it was just he forgot. So right now it's only 1-2, but there is this Asahina Artisan sitting at home that's going to potentially buff this Daidoji Nerishima up to a 4. And there we have it. It's 4-2. This water ring's definitely going to be used to bow the intimidating Hida, which will then get probably unbowed for the counterattack. But that's going to leave... Yeah, this is actually pretty rough. It was bad to not have readied anyone yet. Or at least put in the intimidating Hida. I could see... But it's a 0. Yeah, this is a tough situation for Joe.
That's a very heads-up play right there to sack the Vanguard Warrior to put a fate on the intimidating Hida to make it so that he cannot be bowed by the water ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's something that you wanted to do anyway this turn to make sure the Hida lasts. And that's going to stop the water ring from being too effective. I guess you could unbow the savvy politician, but that's it's not going to be too helpful in the 2 military conflicts left in this turn.
No, there's only 1 military conflict left because Joe declared his military and it got flipped by Rally to the Cause.
Ah, there we go. So maybe it'll be useful on the political defense, but so why did that admit defeat not come down, I wonder? Probably just because it's unnecessary. And I guess the province was never flipped. Yeah, that might help. All right, a couple of mistakes coming out. It's pretty early in the morning for some of these people, so I suppose it's understandable. We're going to rewind a little bit. First things first, the shameful display disappeared. Not sure where that went. Did you catch that, Kurt?
I did not see where it went either.
Yeah, I don't see it, but we know what it is. And once again, we are looking for an extra province. All right, so here, we're going to come out with 3 strength to 4 strength. That's not going to be enough to break. Winning it isn't that important, so we could see this admit defeat that we know Eigensheep has probably stay in hand. I'm not sure it's worth it. What's your evaluation there, Craig?
With that fate on the intimidating Hida, I'm not sure that it's worth it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be more valuable. What?
He just copied his own shameful display. Oh no.
What?
Meditations. What?
What is going on in this game?
And now we know where Eigensheep's shameful
You
display
should
is.
shuffle those. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, then. So this game is a little out of whack, I think. Yeah, so it's 4-3. Admit defeat in hand. Probably not going to get used here. Pretty marginal benefit. We're rewinding to the Vanguard Warrior. I guess hasn't happened yet. So in theory, I suppose, we're under the assumption that they haven't figured this all out yet.
Yeah, so shameful display has been used. I think you just have to let this one go if that Vanguard Warrior is going to get off. If you can assassinate him, which I don't even know that you can from 6 honor versus Crab, I think you just let it go.
Yeah. Okay, so that Keeper Initiate's definitely going to get eaten, I think, by the Steadfast Witch Hunter. And also we have the opportunity to wait to use that Vanguard Warrior until later in the turn. No threat of Water Ring right now, but we do see it get eaten. And Joe's going to get an honor for his trouble. So yeah, we thought this game was not going to go into dishonor, but it looks like Joe has put on the pressure. And it's been simply just using his cards well, leveraging the fact that the Steadfast Witch Hunter can ready itself. And yeah, just smart plays all around. Though Kazin is definitely going to be a big threat, as he's a dueler at 7 strength, so anybody who comes up against him is going to need to just have to keep that in mind. Joe is going to go for a political void, and he has a tough choice of putting the Asahina Artisan, who's not going to be able to do much to stop the break, or put it in Kazin, his last opportunity for a good military attack.
Yeah, I wonder if he doesn't have something in hand here. He does run 1 political rival, which would be really clutch here. Steward of Law would also not be terrible with the Asahina Artisan back home.
But it looks like he's in a tough spot and elects to bring in Kazin. Kazin is currently a 4-strength political to, I think it's 3 on the Crane side. I'm not sure why it's showing 4. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah, this is a very smart ring. Makes sense to try and get Kazin off the table. Again, he's pretty strong. And we see a Watch Commander drop. It's going to make it a lot harder for cards like that to come down. Yeah, Eigensheep's going to have a hard time keeping his honor above 0, I think, this game. He's facing both pressure from province breaks and now as well as honor.
Yeah, what's interesting is how few cards these players have played into conflicts. Joe has only played one. That's his second card that he's played, is the Watch Commander.
Yeah, and I think he's only drawn 4 cards, maybe 5 cards total this game.
So we're seeing let's see.
It's 2 to 4, I think.
Yeah, I don't know where Joe is getting 3 from again. He had it at 2 and then bumped it up to 3.
Either way, still below. Joe has to think really hard about how much he wants this attack to go through. Yeah, I think it's good to just call it there. Yeah, Joe's up ahead in both province, or I guess he's even on provinces, but way up on honor. So he can just take the time to defend, as Crab does very well. I don't think this Asahina Artisan's going to win any crazy military fights here, and just keep putting pressure with the air ring, having extra characters up with the Steadfast Witch Hunter, and just play the slow game. I think he doesn't have to be risky here.
Yeah, there's no reason to do it because Eigensheep's going to drop another honor. Well, if he doesn't declare an attack here, he's going to drop an honor. And then when Narishma leaves play, he's going to drop another honor. So you have to swing the Asahina Artisan into something.
Yeah, just for, I guess, maybe to deny a fate on a ring next turn that you think is going to be relevant. Fire Ring's probably the most impactful one here. Oh, okay, we see a Reprieve come down. The Vanguard Warrior is not going to be used. Perhaps he's worried about... What is he worried about? I don't think he should be worried about anything here.
He could be worried about Noble Sacrifice, but that seems like a really bad trade.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to send my Kazan out for that. It's my one card right now for Crane. So yeah, I think at the end of turn 2, I'm definitely going to call a slight advantage, or a pretty significant advantage for Joe.
Yeah, I wonder if he's worried about the Way of the Crane Noble Sack here, which is still, like, that's a lot of investment to get something off the board that would go off anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chat does bring up one reason to keep the Vanguard Warrior up is to potentially sacrifice it with Way of the Crab. That's pretty dangerous, though. Kazan is honored, so that means Voice of Honor is enabled. He does have the Savvy Politician, which means Forged Edict is on.
You don't Way of the Crab here because the Vanguard Warrior will leave play.
Oh yeah, before.
The Asahina and Narishma are going to be there as well.
Yeah,
there's a lot that can eat Way of the Crab. Even Savvy hurts, but I think you want the Fate on your Intimidating Hida.
Yeah. So I can't imagine people just doing anything but passing right now. A charge? Why?
He's going to sack Vanguard Warrior to put a Fate on her now that he has Reprieve on Intimidating Hida.
And then Way of the Crab? Or just to have a Yojimbo out for next turn?
I think just to have a Yojimbo out for next turn and still see an extra card.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you're paying one money, one Fate for a 2 Fate card, so...
Well, and then also you're getting another Fate on it for free from the Vanguard.
Yeah. It seems like a heavy use though for a single
Oh, I
for a
I
card.
agree.
He's up ahead. He's only got 4 cards in hand now. Yeah, kind of a minor benefit there. Okay, and that's going to end this round. It's going to leave with Savvy Politician and Kazin on the Crane side. And for the Crab side, we've got, the Yojimbo sticking around. We've got the Intimidating Hita sticking around as well.
Yeah, here we go.
We see a Calling in Favors drop. We're going to remove Kazin's Honor to take a hold of that reprieve. And he waited until the last moment. That was getting rid of the Vanguard Warrior, making sure that went on to a different character other than the Intimidating Hita before he used this. And that means Kazin's going to be lasting at least about 2 more turns. It could be less with a Void Ring. Probably 2 turns. And all right, smart play from Eigensheep. Notably though, this is going to bring Eigensheep down to 4 honor. So he's got to be worried about the air wing next turn.
He's going first though, so he can swing into it. And if he can get a Hotaru on the board, then he can double resolve it to go up to 9 if he really wants. Or I guess you go to 8, or go to 7 and steal 1 from Joe, but I think you just go to 8.
I think stealing's probably not worth it at this point, when you're so far behind and he's so far away from dishonoring out. Okay, here we go. Joe keeps a hold of the Imperial Favor. He's going to keep it on political, whether he means to or not. And the spare copy of Daidoji Narishima is being sent to the side again. Probably could have been used to add a fate last turn, but didn't happen. Over here, we see Doji Hotaru sticking around. We see a new Brash Samurai. Probably going to see that unless Hotaru comes out. A Guest of Honor who's really good, but is rather expensive at this point in the game. And another Asahina Artisan. For 1 fate, we might see that. If not, just to have another person on the board. Over here, for Joe, we have a Kaiju Envoy. And 2 Kaiju Suichis. And fortunately, he also got a holding for his trouble, which means that Suichi's ability, which is action during a conflict in which his character is participating, if there's a holding in play, which there is, he's going to be able to gain a fate. So we've now got to wonder from Joe, how much fate does he want to put on Suichi total? I'm thinking probably 2 or 3. But we see the Guest of Honor over Doji Hotaru.
I think he wants Guest of Honor and Brash Samurai. With Hotaru, that's a lot more difficult to justify.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'd have to put her out with only a single fate. And she is sitting on Shameful Display. So you can defend it fairly well.
Right. All right, Soichi does come down with only a single fate, but it's going to quickly go to 2 after the second copy. The duplicate copy is sacrificed to add 1 more. Probably the Brash Samurai, you think, or the Asahina Artisan? It's got to be Brash, right?
I think you go Brash and then pass to get a fate back.
Yeah, he's got the Admit Defeat in hand, so he could potentially win the Fire Ring and re-honor the Savvy Politician and propagate that down also to Kazin, which potentially has him gaining 3 honor from characters leaving play this turn.
The hard thing with declaring just the Brash Samurai in is this Yojimbo is going to be a huge pain to get through on defense.
Absolutely. There is also another problem with attacking air. He's got to attack either into a Shameful Display, which is not going to be great. He could go for a face-down province, but you risk hitting a Defend the Wall.
Joe does not run Defend the Wall.
Whoa. You're right. He runs Ancestral Lance instead on the... I guess on the Stronghold, huh? Or Rally on the Stronghold. I guess he just runs it raw. But yeah. The real issue, though, is if he loses the air ring, he gets a free... Joe, that is, gets a free keeper back that'll immediately get eaten by the Steadfast Witch Hunter to ready, say, Suichi, who now has Covert, which is a very relevant ability, especially when Rally to the Cause is out there, and you don't really have much to risk by swinging in there. Both players bid 1, I think. Yeah, that's right. Makes sense. Joe wants to keep the honor pressure going, and Eigensheep can't afford to go any lower.
Yeah, I think we'll see a fire attack first here from Eigensheep.
Potentially with the Brash Samurai.
I don't know that you could just send the Brash Samurai in here. I think you need to defend with him, because if you send him in like a Yojimbo and one other thing, like the Steadfast Witch Hunter is gross, and then you can sack the Yojimbo or the Caillou Envoy later to stand the Witch Hunter. So you're not losing a whole lot if you defend here. Strong military, so I don't think you can trust the Brash Samurai to win a ring on his own.
That's fair. And Eigensheep agrees with you in some way and goes in with a 6 strength political attack. Probably fire. We think could fire here.
Yeah, I think you go fire, and you honor the Savvy Politician, and then throw one on Kaizen as well.
Yeah. And that'll just make sure you don't lose another military defense. That seems pretty unlikely here.
Yeah, because if you honor the Savvy Politician, her and the Brash Samurai will leave play this turn. So if you can defend solo with the Brash Samurai, honor, you're going to go up 2 honor, which is a pretty safe bet, and it also helps you stabilize your board against a really oppressive crab board right now.
Though he does have to be worried about counter political attack if he does this big swing in now, and I think that's why he's decided to reconsider. Because without them, he's sitting at a total of 3 political, which is not very difficult for the crab player to overcome, especially with the Imperial favor.
The political swing back is not really a huge threat, because if you get the firing off on the Savvy Politician, you honor that in Kaizen, you can defend with the Brash Samurai, honor him, he'll go to 3, and you can bow the Steadfast Witch Hunter.
That's true.
And none of that takes any cards. So you're not going to see a break. You'll probably see a ring claim, but you wouldn't see a break on the snapback political.
How would you see the bow on the Witch Hunter?
Because she's
with the stronghold.
Yeah,
very well. So what do you go here then? I think he had it right, but he's going for maybe Earth. Oh no, that's Joe thinking about Earth.
Did he just pass his conflict? That's not the worst move.
But it really sucks having that Rally to the Cause just sitting there. His other 2 cards, which I guess Joe knows, is Manicured and Shameful Display, both of which are very strong defensive provinces. And right now, this Rally to the Earth is a bit of a Rally to the Cause is a little bit of a liability.
Yeah, it's an extremely soft province. And then, this attack is going to be brutal, because he can safely swing the Suichi and the Steadfast Witch Hunter in. Anything you play is going to cost you 2 honor, which means you can play a single card and not lose the game.
Yeah, and you've got to be worried about Water Ring here. A military Water Ring can bow your Kaizen before he gets a chance to do anything. Military Water on Rally to the Cause. But instead he goes for Earth? That's an interesting choice.
Is he going for Earth? He hasn't picked one yet.
I think he's really tempted by that Fate that's sitting there. It's the only ring with Fate on it right now. And it would allow him to draw a card, and he's down to 4. Yep, there we go.
So Kaizen getting converted from the Shuichi.
Might be a little greedy. I think Water Ring's probably the safer bet here. All right, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or excuse me, 5, 2, 2, but it will be 4 soon. There we go.
Yep.
Suichi using his ability, going up to 3.
Yep, and then we'll probably see that pop. Yep, to draw a card.
Might see a Katana drop on the Suichi. Wouldn't be the worst choice here. He also has no interest really in breaking this province. I think he's happy to just keep winning and not breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's happy just to farm rings off of
Yeah,
it right now.
there we
A
go.
nice soft target.
Loses a noble
Hits.
sacrifice. Not too relevant right now, and Joe draws a new card.
It'd be pretty relevant if he snapbacks fire and like dishonors the Shuichi.
Yeah, but
Because
dishonoring the
Bresh,
Suichi means he has to not honor the politician, which is. But maybe he has a court games in hand. We don't know his hand, I suppose.
yeah, I think that's actually a pretty big hit here.
All right, so you can't not attack forever. I think we've got to see either that political attack with the Savvy and the Guest of Honor go in, or a Kazin attack right now.
Yeah, you need something on the board. You have to get some value here.
Yep, Kazin comes in. It's going to go military. I think we're going to see the Yojimbo and the Witch Hunter probably defend here. And then Suichi attack political, stopping the maybe Savvy Politician from coming in here, or the Guest of Honor, and just going for another ring. Possibly water. Oh, he's out of attacks too. So, yeah, this is a rough spot for the Crane here.
Yeah, because Joe definitely chooses the Yojimbo to duel, I think.
Yeah, dueling here. Um, yeah, dueling's not too useful here. He's only at 4. Witch Hunter's at 5, so he could send Kazin home if he wanted. I,
Witch Hunter is at 3 because of the Fiery Madness.
because of the Fire Madness. So he could win the fight, which would bring him from to 5. Okay, Mountain does not fall. Yeah, I could see this fight working out okay for Eigensheep, taking that last fate off of the Witch Hunter. Joe does have 3 fate, so reprieve is on the table. He's already seen one though, so maybe not.
Yes, Mountain does not fall is interesting here because I feel like you force him to duel first because you may just get to go home anyway for free.
Yep. But
It
he chooses
looks
not
like
to.
they're not even going to duel. They're just going to send everybody home.
All that's left is a political attack. We're probably going to see the Guest of Honor coverted.
That's
And we're going to go right back to the Rally to the Cause. And I think air or fire, both are good choices here for just dishonoring Eigen and maintaining a strong board presence. Oh. Suichi does have 2 fate on him. Let's not forget that. Alright, we see the political fire come down, Rally.
probably.
Air's also fine for the keeper. They're really pretty similar, I think.
Yeah, you might go air here just to get your keeper out.
Elects not to. Guest of Honor staying at home. It's going to be a very useless card. It's not even going to grab him the Imperial Favor since it's going to be 3-1 after all said and done. It's currently, what, 5-2? Which is just out of breaking range. And I think both players are okay with probably passing here. There we have it.
Yeah, and then
And that's going to be the end of this round. We'll see if there's any shenanigans with assassinations or Way of the Crabs. Reprieves come. Oh, weird. Reprieve dropped on the Yojimbo. He really likes that Yojimbo. He's invested a lot of resources in making sure they
Yeah,
stay
I mean,
around.
it's not a bad play here because this board is mostly gonna clear. Uh, Having that Yojimbo on defense is pretty huge. Her stats are just extremely good for her cost.
Yeah. And assassination, which is kind of the biggest threat for the Yojimbo, is not too much of a worry.
Yeah, it's
With
completely offline at this point.
Yeah, with Eigensheep sitting on 4 honor. Um, so what the Eigensheep needs to do here is he needs to just keep putting fate on people and try to win over board presence. But that's so hard when you're going up against Crane with Vanguard Warriors and Reprieves. Fortunately, he does draw a second Hotaru, so it's time for the Crane Clan champion to drop. No doubt
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. I mean, you don't have another option here.
So it's Doji Hotaru, Keeper Initiate, Art of Peace, or excuse me, Artisan Academy. That's Art of Peace. Doji Hotaru, second one, so maybe 2 or 3 Fate coming out there. On top, we have a Funeral Pyre. Might see some use. It's probably going to get tossed at the end of this turn. A Favorable Ground, which is going to be awesome. It's a really good card. We just saw a Vengeful Berserker come out. So with the Funeral Pyre up and the Witch Hunter, the Vengeful Berserker has the potential to get large, as they say. And then we have a second Hiruma Yojimbo, which might as well drop for 2, maybe 3 Fate. Depends on what he has in hand if he wants to keep a lot there.
Yeah, I think this Berserker is really strong because he knows he's not going to hit a rally.
Yeah.
At least not one that's live.
And since he only has zero glory, running into Meditations or Shameful Display isn't really that bad. So he can advance his province play while still maintaining a lot of just honor pressure. All right, we see a Hotaru with 1 extra. That'll quickly become 2 when the duplicate gets tossed. Joe will pass. He decides not to bring out the Yojimbo. And Hotaru, yep, gets its second Fate. And I think that's going to be it. And we're going to head back to the honor bidding phase where both players will once again bid 1.
I think nobody can afford to bid more than 1 here. Joe needs to keep the honor pressure up, and obviously Eigensheep can't die here.
Yeah. 1 and 1. Okay, so Crab is first player. He has a Covert, which always makes the Water Ring pretty alluring here. He could swing in with, let's say, a military Suichi attack, preventing Kaizen from joining in. He could even bring the Vengeful Berserker if he wanted, and then just again, take it slow. Use a second attack to maybe do a Fire Ring or Air Ring. Void's also fine, but it would allow him to take the Guest of Honor off the table. Well, let's see what kind of line of attack he goes for. He goes for Air, so he's trying to bring back a Keeper, so we can later sacrifice them to the Steadfast Witch Hunter.
I think he just has to get Air off the board, mostly because he can't take the Hotaru snapback.
That's very true. That's very true. And once again, we can see why Rally to the Cause is causing trouble when it's in a province and not under your stronghold. It's because it has no defenses, and the opponent who's on for the long game, which turns out Crab is, can just keep hammering it over and over and over, getting incremental advantages, increasing their board while yours slowly dwindles.
Yeah, I think this is a really rough spot for Eigensheep, because if he doesn't defend here, yes, this province breaks, it quits becoming this like soft farm target and forces him onto a harder province. But also, you lose 1 for undefended. You're going to lose 1 for the Air Ring. Any card you play into a conflict against the Watch Commander makes you lose an honor.
Yeah,
I think that's hurting the math here.
All right, we see Artisan Academy drop. So a sword's going to be very helpful. As a result, we might see Hotaru. But it's going to cost you an honor, and that's something that is in short supply right now. Watch Commander, of course, is right here. Undefended, you think? Do you bring in Hotaru?
No, I think you have to. I think you have to let this go.
Yep.
It sucks and it's super spooky, but I think you're just in between a rock and a hard place right now.
That is a break, though.
Yes, because it does force him over to less soft province,
like Meditations or Shameful Display.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, we'll see if they figure out to break and then remind them. I'll remind you now. Oh, that's not the deck. There we go.
Yep, so there we see Joe just content to keep farming that. If he's a little sad, he has to break it there. And now Eigensheep has to figure out what he wants to do on the attack.
Yeah.
You
politics.
Feel, yeah, you feel
politics somehow. Fire?
Pretty good that Crab has to come in politically next time. So this vengeful berserker can pretty much just do nothing this round if you want him to.
Yeah, I think Hotaru double fire is probably the best bet. I could also see Void trying to hit Suichi and maybe Vengeful Berserker, but it's not looking great. It's not looking great.
Yeah, the problem with Void here is the fact that Joe's drawn 14 cards. There's a decent shot he has another reprieve in hand. And that's, I mean, if you go Void here, then your double resolution of the Void Ring is pretty much going to be meaningless.
You think?
It
gets three reprieves in the top 20 or the top 14 is pretty crazy.
Oh, he has played 2 already. My bad. I thought he only had played the 1. I forgot he put the 1 on the Yojimbo. Oh, then yeah, I think you go Void here.
Yeah. What he does have to be worried about is if he swings in hard politically with like a fire ring.
The display of
power. Yeah, that's gonna be brutal. Yeah, and Suichi out there is really just doing good work because he can get readied after the Keeper defends here. That's why we haven't seen the Steadfast Witch Hunter use their ability yet, because they want to just gain that benefit from the Keeper. But if he chooses not to and displays of power, Guest of Honor drops if it's Void. Hotaru gets dishonored if it's fire. And then a third province breaks, maybe undefended. Probably really shouldn't be. Yeah, I think it's looking like it might end next turn for the Crane.
Yeah, the hard thing here is you don't have a good option for where to attack. Mm-hmm. Because Meditations hurts real bad off Hotaru. Shameful Display hurts probably worse. And that third option is either an Ancestral or a Rally. And so here he's just going to go Kaizen Military, knowing he can duel to send everybody home except for one person. And then we also know that he has the Admit Defeat in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a pretty safe bet here.
Does he have any courtiers, though? He does have one. So Edict is online. And that's the worry about Display of Power right now. Is if, yeah. So he's choosing not to do it. It's a little bit of a risky play. And when you're this far ahead, no need to do it. He could even try and prevent the break. He's got this Vengeful Berserker here who's not doing anything. Why not go for it?
Yeah, so what we're probably going to see is this Keeper get sacked to this Witch Hunter to stand Shuichi to pump the Berserker to 6.
Yep. I could definitely see that. Oh, maybe he's doing the Display of Power move. How greedy is he is the real question.
Joe's real greedy.
this is kind of an all or nothing defense here. Or, I mean, all being 2 characters, but still. All right, cat. Okay, he goes for the Berserker and the Yojimbo. That makes a lot of sense. He can sack the Yojimbo, go to 6. He could even sack the Keeper and go to 10. It's very unlikely that this is going to be a win for the for the Crane here. He's also got the Stronghold, and since it's to double this character's skill, the Vengeful Berserker could go up to 8. So, yeah, very unlikely for a Crane win here on this Fire Ring. So do you?
It's gonna Stronghold first, and then Kaizen probably pops here.
Yeah, there's going to be no better time to duel. And you're going to end up with the Vengeful Berserker, who's going to go up to 8 after the sacrifice. Could potentially go up to 16, though, with a double sacrifice to the Pyre.
Yeah, this is...
I suppose it is reaction, so it's only once. My apologies on that.
It's going to be a big boy no matter what happens.
Okay, yep. Instead, he chooses to favorable ground Suichi in here.
Just to stop the card. But that means he can't sack to stand her. Which means he's going to have to sack the Keeper Initiate to the Pyre to pop Berserker.
I think that was for the... oh, geez. Yeah, that was for the Watch Commander. Was no shenanigans.
Right, yeah, that's what he does. But then it forces, if you're gonna sack, you sack the Keeper Initiate to the Pyre, and then you can sack Yojimbo later to stand Shuichi. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't duel here. He has to duel here.
Yeah, I think the duel
Make
comes
him,
down.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's something about Kaizen that a lot of newer people don't realize when they hear the duel. You get to choose as the defender who duels.
And he chooses the Yojimbo, I think, is what's happening. Yep.
So the Yojimbo's at 5, so it's 5 to 7. You're gonna get some honor back here if you bid 1.
Yeah, I think both players bid
Wants to
1,
win.
and I think that's just gonna be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why he didn't choose the Berserker, though. Yeah. Okay, so Suichi and the Vengeful Berserker go home. They're not...
Yeah, I don't know either, because there's no more military conflicts after this. So this Berserker is useless.
Yeah. Maybe there's a bonsai? I don't know.
I think it's a bit of a misplay. Even if there is a bonsai, you keep it. Because you're just going to get admit defeat. You've seen it come from his hand.
What? Oh, okay, so he's going for the display of power move. So he sacrifices his own Yojimbo to stand Suichi, and there's the display of power.
And let's see if we have the edict here.
Now we gotta worry about the Forged Edict, and there it is.
And it is.
And that's why display of power is a really tough thing to use against Kraid Splash Scorpion. Jeez. Alright, so that breaks. And instead, he gets to use the Fire Ring to honor Hotaru?
Guest of Honor? No, he honored Guest of Honor. He must have a second Forged Edict in hand.
Oh,
that's what that says to me. Let's see if Joe gets the same read.
All right, but we do have Suichi still here, and it's going to be a political attack.
Yeah, I think that display of power.
Why did he spend?
Was pretty greedy.
We have a Know the World, so we're gonna try air again. Does this all make sense? No, because it still has to be a political attack. Weird. I guess it is a free swap. He could have sacrificed the... yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I'm rambling on here.
No, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what Joe's up to here. I'm with you. I think that's correct. And you come in air again. but you're not gonna win. I don't think, because he's just gonna guest of honor. Witch Hunter gets bowed. I guess you'd have 5 for guest of honors 4.
Yeah. So Suichi plus the Imperial Favor brings him to 5, right?
Yeah.
And with a Watch Commander out on the table, with a if he brings in both the Witch Hunter and Suichi, he's going to be barred from playing cards, or else he loses from Dishonor.
So he automatically wins this.
But he elects...
You have to defend here, or you lose the game.
He goes towards Meditations, I suppose. It's better than Shameful, because Shameful is an extra honor. I think he's going for the Dishonor this turn.
Yeah.
It's currently 5-6 to 4. The Fate gets removed with the Meditations. So here's the potential trouble. If he doesn't win right now, Hotaru goes in with the double political Void Ring. And now Joe doesn't have a board.
Yeah, and Hotaru's going first next turn, so he can swing air.
Well, he needed Eigensheep needed a way in, and this might be it right here. Just have to hope for not a second display of power, because that'd be brutal.
Yeah, Joe only runs 2.
Yeah, and with only 14 cards drawn, it's unlikely that that's gonna be it. He may have forgotten that Guest of Honor, of course, says you can't. Okay. Both players pass. That's going to be a win for the Crab. Takes an honor, bringing Eigensheep down to 1. I think we're going to see a political void come in here.
Yeah, off Hotaru.
Probably on that 4th province. We've got a Meditations, a Shameful, and a Rally. So that means that last one is either a Ancestral Lands or a Manicured Garden, neither of which is too bad right now.
Joe only runs 2 levy for chat. So even the levy, like the triple levy, even if he drew it, it's literally impossible. So he needs him to lose a Fate here.
Yeah. Hotaru double void political onto Manicured Garden, I think, is the way to go here. It's not too bad. Not too bad.
No, I think that's what you do. The Witch Hunter, unless you can pump it first, is just going to get bowed. So I think you're going to get a break here.
You're going to get a break, too. That's pretty good. And shouldn't... Oh, hold on. This is... Meditations is broken. Right?
No, it was 4 to 6.
No. He displayed a power against Kazin. Right?
Oh, yeah. Nope, wrong one.
Other one.
I guess it's good. Yep, there we go.
So, yeah, this is a potential 3rd break from the Crane. And a surprising turn of events, probably. And he goes Earth over
and then he gets first
Void.
Attack. He goes Earth? No, that's incorrect. You clear the board here. I guess you're coming in political next turn, so you don't care if the Berserker stays. Suichi doesn't have one. Yeah, I think this is fine.
Yeah, it's true. Double Earth.
Because you go air political on your next conflict into the Stronghold. And even though you have to break by 12, he has no political power sticking around except for 1 Keeper Initiate. And if he breaks here on the Yojimbo, it goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, this is fine. And it's unlikely to be anything other than a break.
No. Yep.
Yep.
So it's 1, 2. Let's see here. He's at 2 to 6.
Yeah, 2 to
And the
6.
Witch Hunter is going to get bowed real quick.
2 to 3, or 6 to 3, excuse me, with the favor. But it will bow and go to 1.
No, because it's Witch Hunter.
The Witch
It's at
Hunter is
2,
nothing. My bad,
minus 2, and then she gets the +1 from Watch Commander.
All right, the Pyre burns the Keeper over Suichi,
And
which
you
is
bow the Witch Hunter here.
interesting, which means he maybe has a reprieve in hand.
Joe does not have doesn't run Ambusher. He only has the Gun, so it's the only character he can play from hand here.
So do you have any insight as to why he went for the Keeper to sacrifice to the Pyre instead of Suichi?
I have nothing because he has a reprieve in hand. Probably that's what that says to me.
Yeah,
I guess
he has to, right? He got all 3. That's nice.
he's got his 3rd reprieve. That feels bad for Crane. I guess you could. No, he only runs 1 calling in favor. Yep,
there's
there
the
it is. 3rd reprieve. 15 cards, 3 reprieves. Feels good.
Feels pretty good. Okay, so that might be a break.
Yep,
Looks
like it is.
If Joe loses this is a huge upset.
So the problem here
Loses
is
Levy and Way the Crab.
with that Shuichi sticking around, Eigensheep won't be able to play cards into the break conflict.
That's true. That's true. With one fate or with one honor.
Joe will not
might
be able
trouble.
to either, though.
Because of Guest of Honor.
Because of Guest of Honor.
Unfortunately, though, we do know
It's events, yeah.
Ancestral lands is what's under the province.
Yeah.
So breaking, 13? 13 political might be a little tough without playing cards. We've seen 0 fans, so we know he probably got 1 or 2 in hand.
You can play them all before you go in.
Yeah, but stuff like court games isn't on the table.
Joe has to bid 1 here.
Oh, absolutely, Joe's bidding 1. But yeah, this keeps happening in games when you feel so far ahead for 3 turns, and then you just make 1 mistake, and then you see all of those advances you just made evaporate. And that's what I think Joe must be feeling right now, is if he doesn't get a good flop, which fortunately he did, he might be in real trouble from losing from a province break. All right, so we see a Doji Whisperer, which is going to be very helpful. It's 1 cost. 3 political strength. Kaizen. We see a Nirishima and a Doji Challenger. I think we're probably going to see the Challenger and the Whisperer this turn. Up here we see Suichi, which is a nice surprise. It's going to mean Suichi is going to be out for another turn. We see the Borderlands Defender. We see a Shrewd Yasuki. And we see a Caillou Envoy. All in all, a pretty good flop for the Crab. And a decent one for the Crane. We're probably going to see the entire board come down for Crab.
So to respond to chat, Display of Power doesn't help here, and Joe does not run Ambusher. He does not run Route either, so he doesn't... Nothing from hand is really going to be amazing for him this conflict.
Okay, so you see... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Display of Power, if he tries to no-defend Display of Power, it's going to break the Stronghold before the ring would resolve.
Okay, yeah. So we see Nirishima come down instead of anyone else, the Yusuke, and he should pass here. For, I guess, maybe a Hotaru
or looking for
Artisans.
Artisan, the last Artisan.
He's got a second to pass. He should pass now, though. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then the 1 bids come falling down.
Yeah, the Narishma over Kazan seems weird because I guess you have to win the conflict. Because if you go in, you could do some weird things with the Kazan
Yeah,
duel
where you
on an
swing in with
all-in.
everyone, and then you use Kaizen to abort. You press the
Yeah,
abort button.
especially since Doji Challenger could spear somebody in or harpoon them in.
Okay, so we've got 13, 16, 17 from the crane. He needs to break by 13, though, which is no small feat. For the crab side on political, we've got 4, 7, 9.
It's gonna be 14 after the stronghold gets used in the favor.
Yeah.
So
So,
he can defend this. Um, so the scary thing is he can defend this. I don't know if he can win it, but he can stop the break. So I guess you still go to 14 honor, and Vengeful Berserker doesn't have a way to trigger right now,
yeah.
unless Joe has one in hand. And we've got to assume it's entrenched position. So you're looking pretty good here. Somebody's going to get bowed from the Crane Stronghold here.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, Joe needs to make sure to use his... yep, so we see the Ancestral Lands. He needs to use his Stronghold right off the bat to minimize how much goes home from that, or is bowed from that.
Yeah, Yasuki is getting bowed if Joe doesn't box first.
Whoa, that's a pretty light defense coming. Okay, no,
There
there
you
we go. Everything's normal. Yeah. So, yeah. Right now, Yasuki's gonna be boxed by the crane, but that can be counterboxed by the crab. It's looking like it's not gonna be a total knockout here. And then you swing back with a water wing with the Vengeful Berserker, and then go for a second attack later on in the turn with Suichi.
Yeah, probably. But even then, it's gonna become brutal. I guess you can go Void here and pull the one off Hataru, so this is gonna suck.
Well, yeah, I think I would do Void for the second attack. Because do Water so you get the second attack, and then you get Void for free. And then you might even break 2 provinces this turn with Suichi.
Right. Yeah. So I think you won't break because you break meditations and then you just go to the stronghold. You're not gonna break the stronghold.
Yeah. It's, do we know what's on there? I think we do.
It's got to be entrenched position.
Yeah, entrenched position. It's doable with Suichi, potentially, if he gets, like, honored and has a fan or something crazy. Actually, just honored and do it with no defense.
Well, if he has to win this air ring, and so he'll go to 5 honor. So you're gonna be fine. You're not losing the game from dishonor.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Instead of boxing, he chooses to use a fan.
Yeah, it's interesting here that Eigensheep didn't play anything from hand before this conflict.
Right, which says, well, the only thing he could play are fans.
He could also wave the crane.
Oh, yeah, Way the Crane would
Right,
be good.
that's not conflict, is it?
No, you can play it whenever. I just don't think he's drawn it, which is kind of crappy for 17 cards. You see one. I guess
Yeah, one way of the
relatively
crane versus 3 reprieves. Having that Shuichi in here is brutal.
Yep. And this is but fortunately, after this turn, going back up to 5 honor is pretty good.
So the scary thing here is, I guess it's difficult. Joe would need another fan to stop the win.
Right, because he boxes and goes up to 16, but then he gets
Yeah.
counterboxed, goes down to 15, so he needs a fan. And with 2 cards left in hand, unlikely.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing that can happen here because if he fans Caillou Envoy, he can still get boxed. So he needs a box and a fan, and if either one of those actions come out, then Envoy bows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So does it end here? There
It's
can't be much either player could play right now.
Right. It's interesting that Joe came in. I guess he knew if he didn't come in with the Shuichi, it was just going to get speared or harpooned in by Challenger. And if he doesn't come in with two people, so Shuichi, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, he'd be down to 4. Yeah, so he has to come in with everybody.
Yeah.
Because if he leaves two people out, Challenger doesn't harpoon and wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is correct.
But I think that's probably the end of this conflict. Again, both players are really just out of steam in the conflict hand.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah, there we go.
this is just going to resolve. And that is heartbreaking for Joe.
And that shows you the power of Hotaru, right? Is you've got someone pinned to 1 honor, and then when you lose 1 political attack, you're down, and they're back up to 5. That sucks.
Yeah, the thing Joe has going for him is if he can get a break, then he's going first next turn.
Huh?
He's just going to avoid here. Trying to get Hotaru off the board.
That's fair. When you're going up against a person with 8 cards in hand, this is a little safer than the watering. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me about that. Yeah, this is a little safer. How ballsy does Eigensheep feel, though? Because if he has a bonsai and a sword in hand, he could leave this undefended and win with a Nirishima attack right now.
Yeah, but you have to be worried about the Stoic Gunso.
But it could be so big, though. Yeah, I think going to the Shameful Display is also a better choice in case he doesn't decide to defend. It's a free break, and the defense comes in.
Yeah, this is rough because you're turning on Voice of Honor.
Oh, yeah, and we've not seen a single one of those get played yet. And he has drawn 17 cards.
Which means there's a decent chance you lose this.
Oh, we see the Stoic Gunso. So I think that Envoy is going to be crushed.
Do we see an Assassinate come out here?
I mean, with the Stoic Gunso, right?
What?
The Stoic Gunso is going to eat the Envoy, go up to 5, and then the Berserker's going to go up to 6. So.
But do you see Eigensheep assassinate him?
But then you just eat the Yusuke. It's not that bad. Oh,
no,
assassinate
the Gunso.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
And then Hotaru can stick around. It's ballsy, but I think you do it.
Yeah. And with 8 cards in hand, and he believe he runs 3?
No. He's going to let him eat first, and then maybe assassinate?
That's too late, though. The Berserker's going to go up to 6.
You can assassinate. Doesn't matter what it is.
Oh, no, but the Berserker triggers.
Oh, Berserker eats. Oh, trigger. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I don't think there's much more going on here. I think that's the pass. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and we can see the swingy game continue. The board's still looking pretty good for Joe. Suichi sticking around another turn because he pulled an extra Suichi from the Dynasty deck. And then, Noble Sacrifice hits. The Vengeful Berserker seems fine, I guess. It's not really a huge high-value card.
Yeah, it is here because Joe gets first attack coming in. So if he goes military, if he gets a Chud and sacks it to Stoic Gunso, that's a 6 at least military swing.
Oh yeah,
which is brutal.
And the Shameful did get broken, right?
Yes, it was 12-4.
Is Borkin. There we go. Okay. 3 provinces to 3 provinces. Kaizen. I'd probably keep Kaizen over Challenger at this point. And of course, underneath the Crane Stronghold, we see a entrenched position.
He can't keep Kaizen. It's broken.
Oh, yeah. I'll let him know.
Yeah. The Artisan should be where Kaizen is. Oh, okay. He's just gonna...
Cool.
I don't like that. If you know Kaizen's going our way, I think you have to keep
maybe
Challenger.
Keep the Challenger, yeah. You draw a Hotaru, a Whisperer, and an Artisan. So right now, since this is going to be a military attack, it's gonna be doable. It's gonna be doable by Joe.
Pretty rough draw.
Might as well bring in the Eager Scout, right? You've got an extra turn to use it.
Yeah, I think both players probably looking at bidding 5 here.
Yeah.
It's risky if you're Crane, but I also think you need to.
Joe definitely should bid 5 here. There's no reason not to.
Right, I think that's the read. Joe should probably bid 5, and if you're Crane, you should bid 5 with him.
Yeah. And if you want to be a little conservative, you could go 3 for the Crane. But might as well draw more cards if you can, right? You don't need to go up in honor. Though Joe, I know, dislikes to bid 5. So yeah, maybe we're gonna see 3-3 bid here, or 5-5. That's my guess. We see Hotaru, and then we're gonna see a pass from Crab. Crab's currently sitting at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Stoic Genso can eat the Eager Scout and go up to 16. Oddly enough, he kept the Imperial Favor on political instead of going 5-2. Aha! Eigensheep was worried about all that honor. So we should see 3 transfer.
So yeah, Joe, I don't know what chat's going on about. I think chat is completely wrong here. With Joe should have bid 1 and Crane shouldn't bid high. I completely disagree with all of that. Joe can break here and win the game if he draws into some cards. Crane knows that. If Crane bids with him, he draws cards to prevent that.
Yeah.
You maybe go a little lower because of the Watch Commander, but Crane probably should have bid at least 3 on that turn.
Yeah. The struggle here now is Suichi is still around. He still has covert, and 2 of your characters don't have military skill. So either the Doji Challenger or Doji Hotaru aren't going to be participating in this conflict, and that means you can only muster 3 skill. You probably stop the Challenger because Hotaru could do some shenanigans with winning a double political ring if this fails. But 16-3, that's already a break right there.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here.
You have to be, I guess, slightly worried about a failed break here and a counterattack with, I guess, potentially 12 coming from Hotaru, Artisan, and Whisperer. But if you can win the game, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what happens in the counterattack because it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think you attack in on water and covert the Challenger here.
Oh,
I think that's
clever.
the safe.
Yeah.
I think that's the safest play.
And I think water has 2 fate on it now. I think it's got 2 fate on it. So yeah, get some fate for the trouble as well.
Yeah, I think that's the safest play.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see if Joe agrees.
Mm-hmm. Disappointed slightly that there's been no Assassinates or Wave the Crabs this game. That's something very typical
I,
of
I
this.
think Eigensheep has done a very good job keeping Way of the Crab off.
Yeah, especially with Voice of Honor and the other one, Forged Edict. It's a tough thing
Yeah.
to happen.
Yeah, the scary thing here is going to be the assassinate on the Whisperer into Way of the Crab with Hataru up at the end of the round.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, with the Forged Edicts
Oh, the
and
Eager
all of
Scout comes
that,
in too. Yeah,
why not?
why not? So that's, again, I think I counted 13 the last time. 4, 5, 6, 9, 13, with the potential to go back up to 16 after the Stoic Gunso. And the Imperial favorite probably, again, really should have been... Wait, hold on. Choose the ring. That's fire. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think I like the water covert the challenger here.
Yeah. Hold on. I don't know how you got to 12 there. I think he's counting his province strength at 12, but yeah, he's at 3.
Hotaru's a big boy, dude. Didn't you know?
Okay, so the Gunso happens, and that's enough to...
Yep.
enough for break.
I think we're going to see the Gunso get assassinated.
Probably after the
Yeah, after
sacrifice.
the Eager Scout.
Yeah. For shame. Done. Yep. Okay. Watch Commander is not forced, so I can't tell them to take an honor, but it is relevant here. Slight misplay. Not that honor is hugely relevant at this point.
If you bleed him, it can. I mean, because if he has an assassinate, it puts him down to 5. If he plays like 2 more cards,
Yeah, it could happen.
It could get ugly.
So I think we haven't seen assassinates yet. So assassinates probably coming down from Crane. On the terms of Crab, not too much use here. Okay. Maybe another Watch Commander could be useful here. Katanas are, of course, are always useful, but there's not too much left in the bank.
No, Crane is running on fumes as far as fate goes.
And there's the Bonsai. Almost certainly counter Bonsai onto Hotaru. Forged Edict, though. Oh, okay. On the first one or the second one? Looks like the first one.
You've got to do it on the first one. Yeah, you don't care if he spends the honor. You've got to do it on the first one.
Yeah. Of course, Bonsai can be used twice, and the second time costs an honor. But since it counts as 2 events, Forged Edict can either stop the first one, which prevents the second one from happening, or he can prevent the second one, which I believe still costs him an honor, but would just stop 2 strength from happening. I believe that is no.
Yeah, that is correct.
After the dash.
Correct. He should lose another honor for the Watch Commander here.
Yeah. Again,
Let's see if
he remembers it.
That Forged
I guess the bleed that we were
is
talking
a card.
about is real.
Right. You have a handful of cards. I mean, Assassinate at this point costs 4 honor. I think it's extremely relevant.
Yeah.
Because Assassinate wins you this
right.
game.
Yep, and there's the eat.
And then we'll probably see an Assassinate. Oh, he's still not breaking.
Yeah, he's 1 short.
Okay, now we see the Assassinate. Yep. Oh, Bonsai.
Bonsai.
It's going to cost 2 honor.
on Hotaru. Assassinate's off the table, I think. I think it might be a bit risky at this point.
Crow, yeah, it's optional, so we can't enforce it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why we're at 10 here for the Crane player.
Yeah, I count 9. It's or I count 7.
It's
even.
7, yeah. Which is still fine. I mean, you're still stopping the break.
I mean, I'll bring it up if it matters, I guess. Oh, I guess bring it up. I don't know. Why not? Strength should be 7 for Crane.
Hotaru is not honored. In the discard is a 4 shame. Court games cannot be played during military.
Yep. So after the bonsais come down, there's really not much left other than like a conflict character. A second Stoic Gunso might be useful.
And he has it. He's drawn both his Stoic Gunsos.
What? Did he put away 3 there? Oh, okay, he put 2. What?
Because he faded it. And then he sacks. So these are both at 5, pulling it down 15. You have to play an Assassinate here if you have it. Even though it costs 4. I guess it stops you. You don't have any cards left, but to play because you'll die to Watch Commander.
Yep.
But I think you have to.
2, 7, 13. Yep. 20 to 7, and that's breaking range. And surely he has an Assassinate after all those cards.
Yeah. It is important to note. Nope.
A GG. No Assassinates. That's crazy. I Can Swim didn't have enough fate on it.
And he didn't bid higher.
And he didn't bid higher. GG.